Ah, you seem to have caught me in the middle of pressing this big red button that I found. I was simply making an MF Doom reference. Unfortunately though, my need to validate my taste has led me to not properly consider what it is that this button actually does. For all I know, it could blow up the entire world. Or worse, do nothing at all, as that would make it a Drake reference. And I hate Drake. So to learn whether it is or not that I will be game ending myself, let's press the button. Haha! Yes! 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 Blew the whole shit up on some. What? I'm superimposed. What did you expect?
I must literally reside on another plane of existence.
I'm not gonna get taken out by just a nuke. And you have plot armor or something. I don't know. What? Hey, what the hell is this place? What are we doing here? Is it? Hold on. Is that a fucking food truck? God motherfucking damn! A goddamn food truck. Ah, you know, that reminds me of a certain manga I read. I think it was called... What? Yes, this was the setup for a YouTube video. We aren't actually in any danger, you dumbass. Anyways, Crazy Food Truck is pretty fun and sweet. The chill road trip vibes are off the charts and make me envious that my world hasn't already been blown up as well. Curse you, beautiful trees! Each chapter feels laid back in its execution by following these two classic character tropes of human superweapon on the run from the military with an insatiable appetite and chef. It's really that simple. Considering this matchup, you'd probably think that this one's about getting food, and you'd be correct. But there always seems to be some difficulty with how they get their chow. Like, bro, why is there a 3-chapter arc to get sushi? I know why. Because it's funny to watch this funny duo bust their ass just to eat some good fucking food. Whether it's the military coming after them, a tyrannical takeover, or just the food getting up and leaving, it's never as easy as going and just buying it. Unless it is, but shut the fuck up. Shut up, go, shut up. It's a formula that the story uses to a pretty nice degree, but ultimately underutilizes, in my opinion. Had a couple of the edges been refined, and the world building being focused on a bit more, this could have made to be a really fun thing to tune into every chapter, while the main overarching story progresses. Kinda like Zombie 100. In fact, this whole manga feels a little close to Zombie 100 in its general vibe, but more watered down. That's not me saying don't read it. Honestly, you should read both, because they're both good. I'm just saying that I think the story of Crazy Food Truck could relax a bit on everything at once and instead focus on the day-to-day activities and the roadblocks they face on the way to wherever they're going. Don't get me wrong, there are still quite a lot of tasty little fucking like nice little moments and shit, but needs more. I like action and spectacle, but that ain't my life, bro. Like, the most realistic thing Thanos ever did was just retire and move to a farm. And that is straight vibes right there. This funny story encapsulates that in a very digestible way for most of it. There is an overarching story about super weapons and robot women and food truck. I mean, it's okay. I'm not gonna pretend that I'm pushing peak right now. There are holes in this operation, but we got 16 chapters of solid. That's pretty good. So I suggest reading it if you find yourself stuck waiting for a bus or something. Not on the bus though, mind you. For one, no, actually for 2 reasons. I'm no stranger to getting freaky with it, as some of you are regrettably aware, so I'm not going to act disgusted and appalled that they would show such scandalous imagery. In fact, I don't really care at all. I'm just gonna say that it is there and noticeable, so if you hate that type of stuff, probably not for you. Another thing that may be a bit of a deterrent for some people is the scratchy, amateurish art in this one. And yeah, but I mean, it's at least stylized, and there's a couple keyframes to pick out that are like good. I'm not gonna show because spoilers, but my favorite is a shot of this rather large water-based creature. Anyways, after reading one too many isekai, I've realized that it's not necessarily the cleanness of the art that matters, but rather how they illustrate ideas and the effectiveness of things like visual metaphors and other boring dumb stuff that I totally don't secretly think is super cool and interesting. All that doesn't necessarily apply to Crazy Food Truck, but at the very least I can say that it's obvious that the manga is trying to do stuff like that, and even if a lot of the aspects of this manga fall short, I can still appreciate the effort that went into what it is. Oh shit! I was talking for so long it turned night. We have to find somewhere to sleep, come on! Oh really? A loading screen? A loading screen? How is there even a loading screen? Okay, well yeah, well that's awfully convenient. For a dude who wastes everyone's time explaining why some random fucking manga sucks balls, you sure don't know how to write a story. Shut up! Shut the fuck up! Shut up! Don't piss me off or I'll force you to make a yaoi video, okay? Okay, jeez. Fuck me. Wow. What a lovely place to be right now. Yes, yes. Anyways, I'm gonna go to sleep. You have to do the next manga, bro. Eh? No, I won't. I refuse. I can't. Ooh, looks like I've gone insane. And considering that you're now seeing double, seems you have as well. Sorry, I guess dystopian life isn't for us, huh? Like, I remember reading a manga called Rebuild World, where it looked almost appealing. Now, of course, when talking about any dystopia and using the word appealing comes the extra context of only if everything you ask for gets given, as in if you're the MC. Although in this case, the idea of main character syndrome is kind of egregious considering how my guy Akita goes from getting beat up on the sidewalk to becoming one of the most powerful hunters in the area and what can probably be assumed to be the world. There's a very real complaint here with this one that everything given to the MC isn't earned in the slightest, but rather served to him by big titty anime girl he stumbles over in what I can only assume to be an act of God, and I'm going to have to agree with that wholeheartedly. Mind you, accented with one big asterisk saying that I still managed to enjoy this one considerably. Taking off the veil for a second, this whole video was originally going to be about just Rebuild World before a couple key details I had neglected came to light after a reread. Mostly what I just said about Akita kind of getting everything, but also stuff like a slightly vapid world outline and deja vu every 3 or so chapters after this idiot is introduced, but we'll get onto that later. I haven't even given the breakdown yet. The story is set in a post-apocalyptic wasteland, most similar to Borderlands off the top of my head, but with Isekai style level, weapon, hunter, monster, and ruin systems. You get what I mean. Where this manga deviates the most and actually managed to grab my attention was the way that they treat the main character and what seems to be his relentless commitment to hating everyone. Don't get me wrong, I like a good deco or Tanjiro. Positivity can be grating, but for the most part, honestly, it's just harmless and commendable to a degree, but in saying that, I don't mind pissed characters. Akira lived in the slums for years. By all accounts, he should be dead, and it's completely not his fault. So just because he became super powerful doesn't mean all of a sudden he's gonna become a super fun, optimistic, fun-loving dude. No, he's gonna be just as spiteful as ever. I should clarify. I know I said hate everyone, but that was just a joke, okay? His rampant hatred is only really directed at life itself and people who annoy him. I mean, well, which granted there are a lot of those, but he's more than happy to act nice to people who deserve it. It's a bit of a childish viewpoint, but I mean, bro is a child. And also it seems to come from a sense of fear, which again, considering how he grew up, you can't really blame him for. Where I had the most fun watching this character was seeing him rise the ranks and get more powerful with just this face. Also the fact that after going through terrible shit, the thing that annoys him the most is whether or not his hotel room will have a bar. I actually think that someone snuck into my house and stole a piece of my personality because I have no other justification as to why I'm so stuck up on this dude and his objectively plain personality. I mean, he doesn't even really change throughout the whole runtime. In fact, even the story itself doesn't really evolve over the chapters we have right now. Stuff does happen, but it's mostly Akira gets better at aiming, or goes on an expedition, or meets new people, which, I mean, considering the world and characters, feels like a bit of a squandered opportunity. We are presented with what is a pretty interesting world, like the ruins of a destroyed techno-utopia filled with these hilariously rule of cool gun dogs and gun crocodiles and duo gun crocodiles. Should be really interesting to search, right? Seeing all this got me wondering, who made them? Why did they make them? What other pieces of cool tech are out there? But instead the manga responds with poncho and bra. Okay, admittedly there is a laser sword thing, but you got one kind of good example in a world of possibilities. I'm not impressed. Not to mention the art direction is just kind of bland. I don't know. Dystopia is one of my favorite settings for art, especially overgrown style. That really tickles my fancy. But what I don't like is this dust and metal, and I get that it's an apocalypse, but I mean, we got gun crocodiles. I don't think that probably sunk in for you people. I don't think it's too much to ask to have like a little bit of interesting design with what's going on. And I gotta reiterate, I did like this one, but sort of more in like a 7 out of 10 kind of but not really type of way, in that I enjoy what's here. You won't catch me saying it's anywhere close to trash, but the flaws are so obvious and annoying to a point where sometimes I just gotta turn around and pull up a picture of cyberpunk edge runners and ask, why am I even trying to recommend this one in the first place? Because of one character. This idiot. I don't remember his name. It would take too much mental effort, but he's the quintessential no skill, no effort, all the girls protagonist. You know what I'm talking about. All the girls want to shut the fuck up. But oh, thank the Lords and Jesus and stuff, because they essentially spent the entire runtime showing him get dunked on by the Chad Akita. Honestly, the catharsis I felt reading this is just so nice. I understand that the floor I stand on is made of glass, but I also enjoy McDonald's, so we're sort of at an impasse situation here. Also, once again, ass, titties, it is what it is. In conclusion, It is very nice, but needs way more world building and self-awareness around the protagonist's own hypocrisy against the opposing loser character, who's infuriating, for it to be something I can recommend to more than just people who trust my judgment. This is the only time in the series where I will end by saying, only read this one if it's actually piqued your interest. I have a feeling if you just blindly trust me here, you'll leave disappointed, okay? Yep, that's that. Unfortunately, my rambling doesn't change the fact that we are still stuck here in this barren wasteland. I understand that this is my fault, but that doesn't change the fact that I hate Drake. I hate Drake. Why do I hate Drake so much, you ask? Well, it all started many years ago. I was only a— Run! Wait, what? Quickly! I know where to hide! Come on, I know a place. Fuck. Come on, up here. Through, come on. Okay. Alright, I think we're good. What? Where are we? Well, my sweet little chat, we're in, I don't know, something really low quality. Like, something really low effort. I'm talking like first draft shit right now. I'm trying to up my quality, so he'll never find us here. Also, an excuse to not have to try hard. Speaking of not trying hard, how about we skip the charade and start talking about mysteries, maidens, and mysterious disappearances? Because I ran out of Dystopia to talk about. Let's go! This one has an anime. I don't care though, I read the whole ass manga and learned at the end, and I actually really enjoyed this one. So if anyone talks about how they already saw this one, I will kill you. That's right. You will die and come back as a ghost, much like this, which has a lot to do with ghosts and spells and witchcraft. It's actually very weird, but in a cool way. One of the weirdest genres out there is abstract manga, by design. And this often does just make weird nothing stories, but sometimes you get someone who actually understands that purposefully breaking not just social norms, but like psychological, physiological norms can lead to some really obscure, interesting, interpretive works. The type of art that is so open-ended and unapologetically non-conforming that it essentially has no connection within its own makeup, and instead uses you as the reader to patch together all ears using your own personal experience. The story told in this one, I'm gonna be honest, I don't really understand. From what I could tell, the idea is, okay, so this is a world where two worlds exist. One is our world, obviously, and the other is, I can only really describe as where the dead and malevolent go to haunt. But usually these worlds live in a relative state of coexistence. But we follow all the times they don't. I'll just give an example. I feel like, yeah, I'll just give an example. So the first time we see this in action is actually with one of our main characters. Fuck Japanese name. Sumireko Ogawa. She's actually a very normal person, works a non-specific service job at a library of all places. She goes home, gets drunk, and wakes up the next day. But most importantly, she wishes she was young again. As I said, very normal person. Until she reads a strange book that suddenly appeared in her apartment. Ooh. She then gains the ability to change her age by muttering the phrases in the book. Wow. Now this is epic. What a blessing to have for all the... Seems she has also gained the ability to bleed out of her eyes. Less epic. This is not cool. Anyway, yeah, that's the general gist of it all. It's just really different to have the antagonist of the story not strictly be a person or group, but rather the emotions that carry them. You know, you're not fighting the girl, but her overbearing need to be younger. This carries throughout the story as well. It leads to much more realistic quote-unquote villains, because at the end of the day, when someone is evil, it's not them, but their environment, the people around them, their experiences. And if they're unlucky, they just kind of get a bad role and become evil. This is a message a lot of those bad guy redeeming stories go for. How well the idea is conveyed is what sets the thank gods to the goddams, and luckily I think MMMD acts as a nice ABC for this idea. An admittedly surface level execution, but still hitting all the most required points to best get people understanding what they're trying to say. Entry level empathy, if you will. The interactions between the main characters are really sweet as well. Y'all already know I got an affinity towards two types of characters, but for groups I tend to gravitate gravitate towards this sort of jokey family mishmash group of pretty generally cool but still flawed people. So I was pretty instantly drawn into this dynamic here. It's like kind of fucked up Japanese Scooby-Doo. Hey guys, editing KitKat here to let y'all know that Scooby-Doo is a goated show. It gets my KitKat seal of approval. I fucking love Scooby-Doo. I don't think I can. I also think it's cool that after a mystery is solved and the problem is resolved, the enemies turn into comrades. Something reinforces idea, something, no one is evil. I just think that having the world be slowly more full with each chapter adds a nice sense of slow progression to a strange world that I don't understand. I don't get it. It's like with each smaller mystery solved, the bigger one becomes more seen. And I'm well aware that I just essentially explained the idea of stories and continuity to you guys, but I just really like highlighting what it is about a certain manga I recommend that makes it different to the others I have, and the whole market of manga as a whole, honestly. Generally, the fact that manga are entirely created by one person is linked to some of the best stories ever. Like literally ever. Freerun is a masterpiece, but it also leads to a lot of times where the most normal baseline stuff is missing. So I'm happy to say that at least this one here, it hits the marks. That's all I have to say. Why isn't the section changing? Yeah, there's still a couple more things to hit to meet the consistency quota. Ah, shit! Let's get out of here! No. You gotta mention that it contains titties and compare it to another manga that is similar but more popular. No, fuck you! I'm not your puppet, you bitch! Look. Just say the lines and this video can be over, okay? We both want that, right? Okay, fine. This one also has titties, and I mean, you know, shit. I mean, that's pretty fire, so even if you don't like it, I mean, you know. So despite the fact that it's actually pretty similar to Mieruko-chan, because it's, gonna finish the line? It's like Mieruko-chan because it has ghosts in it. And Mieruko-chan is actually one of my favorite manga of all time. Wait, the moment I heard the concept of girl who can see ghosts but can't let them know, I was immediately like, oh, this is gonna... Alright, charades. Hello, it's me, the only thing more powerful than lore cat or whatever the fuck is going on. Here to say that I'm not doing this bit anymore. You can either think of this as part of the story, meta-contextual style, or I got lazy. Either way, I'm pretty fucking smart, you gotta admit, this is pretty fucking good. Thank you, editing cat. Anyways, immediate thing to point out is the, oh my god, so cute anime girl, and the casual eldritch horror lurking on her side. And yeah, that got me giggling as well. Y'all probably already know about Mieruko-chan, considering that it was actually pretty popular even before it got an anime adaptation, but considering I decided to recommend the niche show ReZero, it seems that the bar has hopped up and left, so I'ma do what I want. I already summed it up pretty well, but just to hammer it home, the first chapter alone is like scary. I don't know what to say. Bone chilling. I'm shaking in my skin. Truly terrified. What I appreciate is that throughout the story, the manga actually uses the idea in more than just a shock factory type way. There's actual meaning behind what it means to have a ghost attached to you. And ghosts themselves aren't just mindless evil. They're obviously the leftover emotions and ambitions of people who've passed. This does mean that there are a lot of creeps and violent ones, but there's also, and this is a spoiler, that is actually pretty important, so click off if you're interested. There are also ghosts who are good people, like Mieruko's dad. And this goat dog monster thing that stays next to him. I actually don't know if that one's good, but it works in good conscience. It's actually kind of really sweet to think that those who love you, who pass on prematurely, still continue to love you and protect you, even if you never see it or know. Mr. Cat is so sweet. But for the most part, the story is kind of like a monster of the week style with an overarching story that slowly unfurls. Honestly, a pretty normal style that I think gets too much flack. It really adds to the laid-back, disconnected sense that I'm sure Mieruko herself is feeling about the whole ordeal. I mean, she's really just kind of thrown into everything. It's not like she unlocked the power to fight all the most powerful ghosts in the area. Like, no, she can just see them. Over the whole runtime, I don't think she ever directly banishes any ghost without external help that is honestly just beyond her control. I could do a KitKat style existential rant about how this whole manga is just one big metaphor for life and death, and how sometimes the demons of your life, although appear potent to you, can appear invisible to others. So sometimes you need to find help with your friends and professionals, yada yada. But at the end of the day, this is the funny slice of death manga, so I'm just gonna let you draw your own conclusions. respectfully. Keeping this one short because I feel that Mieruko-chan is pretty shallow on the surface, but deep when you really sink your teeth into it, and I'd rather you guys experience it like in a genuine sense. And I think I'm about to hit my word count, so yeah. Here are all the recommendations ranked from all the videos, and I thank everyone who watched them. They were, strangely enough, actually some of my most popular videos, so like by far as well. So like I'm both relieved and saddened that that's over, because like I can't milk it for views anymore. I can't milk manga for views anymore. Yeah, the next series is going to be different, obviously, so I hope that y'all still find something in it outside of just KITKAT official seal of approval, but no promises. All right, bye bye.